Hi Aquarius, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol, and Aquarius, this is going to be a general reading for mid-November 2024. And I want to welcome my new subscribers out there. Thank you so much. And if you're coming back for another reading, thank you for supporting me. It means a lot to me. And if you're interested in personal reading, I have a link in my comment section and also in my description box below. And this month is a big month, well, especially at the end of the month, which is what this reading is for. There is going to be a full supermoon in Taurus for November 15th, and it's going to be around when these videos are coming out. So I couldn't ignore that, and I thought, well, the moon is going to bring a very intense energy for us, and an intense energy of closing or completions, that something that's coming to an end. And so it's also going to bring up quite a bit of emotion for us because the moon is in a full moon. The moon is opposite to the sun, and so the sun is going to be in Scorpio, and Scorpio is a sign that is probably the most emotional out of all the signs in the zodiac. So it's going to be a really emotional time, and I'm finding that emotions are coming up in all my readings for things, because the moon wants to bring us all up so that we can release it. So we're going to start off by looking at what is it that you need to release as a first point. And I will be using the Ehrenberg Tarot, and I'm going to be clarifying it with the Radiant Rider-Waite right now. And then I'm going to pull a Moonology card at the end for us. So for you, I want to know what is Aquarius being asked to release during this time. And it's going to be something that is no longer serving you. And you're asked to release the Five of Wands. And like I said in all the readings, and I'm saying it again, that I have not had any reading without a Five of Wands or a Five of Swords or the Five of Pentacles in it. All three of them have been coming up somehow or other. So it's very fascinating how that has all come up. And yet I can sit here and go, well, I don't remember a 2 coming up, like a 2 in any of these suits. So it's just fascinating that the 5s are coming up. Yeah, so during like I said, during a full moon, it brings out those things that you need to release, that are no longer serving you. And so what we're going to do over here is the moon is very much, in a full moon, it shines a light on what we hadn't known before. So this is going to be your shadow or your unconscious, and it's going to be, we're going to look at what's coming up for you that really the moon is shining this light on for you to heal. And you're going to find it's going to have a mirror effect with what's going on. So this is kind of like your outer world, and this will be your inner world, and they're mirroring each other. And that's how this journey works. It's fascinating once you start to see how your outer world is mirroring your inner world. It's a freaky phenomenon, but it's true. And so let's have a card for Aquarius's shadow. I'm not sure if I said Sagittarius. I don't think I did. But if I did, I apologize. I meant Aquarius. But let's have a card for your shadow here. If you're new to shadow work or you need some help with it, I've put together a video called My Powerful 4-Step Guide to Shadow Work. And it's a video about facing your own shadow and how I did it in my own intensive healing journey that I've been on for 7.5 years. And it's taken from my other channel called Carol Cares, and I have a lot of other videos there, and I may also recommend some at the end for you. So you can have a look at that. So let's ask for one card here for Aquarius for what's coming up in their shadow to heal. And you have the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords, which is a nice card to be sitting there. At the top, we're going to ask, what direction does the universe want to take you during this period? Because that's what this is all about, right? It wants to take you into a new direction. Once you start to heal this, you drop things, you let go of things that no longer serve you, and then the universe says, well, let's go into a different direction here. So what direction does the universe want to take Aquarius for these last 2 weeks of November? What's the energy here? I'm just going to take this one, and I'll clarify it with another deck. So the Two of Pentacles in reverse, it was like those kind of fell out, but I just felt like this is all I needed to take. So the Two of Pentacles is what's coming up for you. And then advice from the tarot. This is a process. It's a healing journey. So it's a process here. It's not, a magical pill that I'm going to present to you here. But how can you begin to heal this? And the universe wants to get you into that direction. And then I'll also suggest a playlist for you probably at the end from Carol Cares that is more specific to healing this. Sometimes I'll suggest writing prompts for you. And I'll also link my November 2024 reading that I did for you. All right, so this wants to come out already. You have the Queen of Wands for advice from the tarot. It was right at the beginning and it wanted to come out. All right, so let's clarify these cards. I'm going to start off with, tell me a couple cards for the Five of Wands here. The Four of Wands in reverse. And then you have the King of Wands in reverse. How about this Ace of Swords? Those three wanted to come out. So you have the King of Swords in reverse. Seven of Cups. And the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. And this Two of Pentacles reverse. Couple cards here. Get the Four. No, that was a Four of Wands. The Nine of Pentacles in reverse. And then you got the Four of Cups. Okay, so I'll pull this down so you can see it. And tell me some more about the King of Wands. The King of Wands. A couple cards, please. Four of Swords in reverse. Knight of Swords. I'll pull the Moonology card in a minute when I'm done. It's not going to be a minute, but all right. So when you're being asked to release, we start off with the Five of Wands right away. Boom. And the Five of Wands is a card of, look at these two individuals, how they're staring each other down. And it's like, it's all about the stare down of this wand. And this is usually, usually each person has their own wand, but I think what's important here is the stare down of how, you start, and this kind of reminds me of, I know it's not a mirror image, but it's almost like when you look at yourself in the mirror and you start to be very critical of yourself, and it's like, who are you comparing yourself to when you're criticizing yourself? And this kind of reminds me of that, this card, but this is very much a card of judgment, of usually comparing your wands, and it's a battle of the egos, really. And so it really brings up a lot of unworthiness. It brings a lot, talks about our shame, because when we are comparing ourselves to other people, when we are judging ourselves, when we are very judgy towards other people, and it's very much a card of our shame that's coming out, and everybody has shame. And people just don't realize that they have it, or to what extent they have it, and they don't want to talk about it because, they usually don't want to talk about their emotions, and the last one you're going to want to talk about is shame. It's a shitty emotion. Not something we're born with, it's something that we're given. And yeah, so you're sitting here with some shame that that needs to be released. This is what needs to be released here. And you have the Four of Wands behind it, and the Wands suit talks about this, our purposeful direction, our creative direction, where we're supposed to go creative, in a creative direction. When I mean that, I mean like what was meant for you, and something that would give you so much pleasure, so much passion. And it's kind of an unconventional direction that people would kind of look at you and go like, what do you think you're doing? And so I see here in an upright position, this would mean like you've stepped out. You have stepped out into doing this creative thing that you've wanted to do for yourself. You've put yourself first finally, but it's in reverse here. And so I'm wondering if you either, maybe have been doing something for yourself, this thing you wanted to do, and you've kind of like, I don't want to do it anymore. Or you're just, there's a fear. There's a fear here. Maybe you've stepped out a bit and you kind of got really scared. Some fear has come up in your system. And there's something here that's really holding you back now. And oftentimes when, it could be your shame and your unworthiness that's kicking in. Like, who do you think you are? Or what are you doing? And that whole idea of making ourselves more visible in the world, whatever it is you want to do, maybe it's something on YouTube. Maybe you want to be a YouTube reader like myself. There's just a lot of things in your head that you're going to hear yourself saying about yourself, and has to do with your unworthiness, and you'll be judging other people. I know before I came on, I went on and looked on, a bunch of other tarot readers and what they were doing. Well, there's not two tarot readers that are alike at all. There's a million of them out there. So maybe, you're comparing yourself to people, or you're just feeling unworthy, and you're just, something's going on here where you're maybe feeling a lot of fear. There's a resistance to carrying out what you had started, or want to start. And then you have the King of Wands that comes in here, and the King is our masculine part. There's two sides to us. We have a masculine side, which is our ego self, and then you have this feminine side, and it doesn't matter what gender you are. Now, the feminine side would be very much the part that wants to be creative and wants to take their life in a new direction. And, and here's the wand about taking your life in a new direction. And your ego self has come out and went, nope, we're done with this. We aren't doing this. And maybe that's what you're doing. You're hearing all these thoughts in your head of why you can't do this, why you shouldn't do it. Maybe it's costing you a lot of money, which is a crazy idea. What are you thinking? And your ego self has blocked you and said, no, we're going to stop this. This is not a good idea. And, and you got your unworthiness kicking in here, all this shame that's coming up. So real block here of something trying to stop you in your tracks. And so it's really important that you release this unworthiness, and also get in touch with, what is this part of me that's telling me I can't do this, I shouldn't do this. So what's coming up from your shadow? This is the important part. What's coming up here to heal? Because it's going to drive what's happening here. It's going to have the most impact on this, because this is happening in our life so that we can see this and heal it, because it's coming up for you. And that's how the mirror work works with this. So the Ace of Swords is coming out. So in your shadow, in your unconscious, the thing that you've repressed about yourself is your true self. It's the Ace is like a gift from the universe. It's an offer, but you have this gift here of you and who you are. That is the Ace of authenticity, of who you really are. And it's sitting here right in front of your shadow. There's something here to discover who you really, really are. And I think this is what this is, all this is leading towards that. Like, there's something that you're getting close to that's part of who you really are, who you were really meant to be, what direction you're really supposed to go in. And there's just shame that's blocking it, and your ego selves come in, and it's your shadow is something here that wants to reveal something to you. We think that we just have big emotions and, things we don't like about ourselves and trauma that's buried in our shadow, but we also have gifts that, things that we've come here to do. And oftentimes they were things that were shunned by, or repressed, or discouraged by our caretakers. If you're told as a young child, you can't do this or you shouldn't do this, well, we put it away. I see this. I've been watching a TikTok lately, and I know it's meant for me. There's this 8-year-old boy, and he's a designer of clothes. He's a clothes designer, and he's been doing it since he was 4 years old. And he has his own sewing machine, and he designs for like big stars and stuff. He makes dresses, and I'm just watching this little boy on TikTok. Oh, he's on TikTok. I think he's on Instagram. And it's just amazing. It's just, I'm like, wow. And one of the messages from, I think it was his mother, and said, you know, he told me when he was younger that he wanted to be a dressmaker. He wanted to make clothes. And I listened to him. And so listen to your kids. And I just went, I cried. I cried when I heard that. I said, wow. You know, and this is what, I swear this is what this reading is about. That who you were meant to be, what you were supposed to do. Your authentic self is sitting right here. And so the King of Swords comes up right after that. And again, your king, you have two kings here, one on each side. The king is your masculine self. And the king is your ego self. And the ego is like petrified of authenticity. It's the part of you that will put on these masks, you see. Because if you were told that you weren't allowed to be a dressmaker, and that's what you've always wanted to be all your life, and that was, let's say that was put away, and your parents said to you, what, are you crazy? You're a boy and you're only 4 years old. These kind of things. So that's the kind of stuff you would have put away, right? And your ego self would have, you know, here's your authenticity. We're going to repress that. Instead, the ego says, well, you would have had all these emotions of shame and as a child and feeling unworthy because no one's listening to you. You knew you wanted to be a dressmaker. And this ego self would come out and say, you know what? Well, let's put on this mask to protect you. You're not allowed to be a dressmaker, and now you're all upset and full of shame. Well, we're going to put all these masks on, and you're going to be somebody different. So you wear the mask that says, I'm not a dressmaker. I'm unworthy. I'm a boy. And when, you know, maybe if you were a girl, that's the message you got. Well, you would have been a dressmaker. Like, it's just fabulous and fantastic how all of this works out if you think about it. But this is what this, you know, no surprise that the ego self is the sword here, the authenticity. It wants nothing to do with authenticity. And then as a child, so there was something here that you were supposed to do, your authentic self, and you weren't allowed to. Like I said, the ego self came in and blocked it because you weren't allowed to do this. And then the Seven of Cups comes in, and the Seven of Cups is normally a card that talks about, you know, as an adult, about how you can distract yourself with all these things that are out there in the world, these beautiful things. Well, when you were younger, when you became, like when you felt like you couldn't do this, and you were told that for some reason why, you would have dissociated. Do you see how this person's in these clouds? And so what happens to a child is when the ego self takes over and shuts down these big emotions of unworthiness, a child will go up in their head. A child around 4, 5, 6 years old is very grounded in their body. They know who they are. They're not afraid to feel their emotions. But if they're not afraid, if they're not allowed to feel their emotions, or if they're told, you know, in so many words that you're unworthy, those are big emotions for them. And so the ego self will kick in and block them, and the child goes up in their head and dissociates and lives in their head. And that's where all their emotions, the big emotions, are in your body. And at the end of this, here's the Eight of Pentacles, blocked. What is the Eight of Pentacles? This individual right here, the Eight of Pentacles, Pentacle can speak about our workplace. This individual has been passionately working away, you know, carving out each one of those pentacles because that's what he wanted to do. And I think of that little dressmaker that I watched that made me cry the other day because that's what he wanted to do. You should, if you can find it, I got to get the name of it's incredible. He's got his own shop at home, and he talks about all the material. If you're anybody that's into material, he knows all his materials. They're all lined up. His Opa made him all these shelves, and he went to Japan and shopped for some beautiful material. It's an incredible thing that I watch. And this is sitting right under, behind your, right in the bottom of your shadow. This is what you wanted to do. This is your passion. This is what you wanted to do, but it was blocked. It was blocked. That's incredible. Let's go to what direction the universe wants to take you. Here's the Two of Pentacles. In an upright position, the Two of Pentacles talks about this individual that's balancing these pentacles on his nose. He's like the juggler. He's very distracted. He's multitasking, and you know, not really focused on one thing. And so the universe really wants to bring you to a place where you become more focused. And that, you know, I often, because we can be so distracted by things out there. And like I already talked about that with the Seven of Cups right here. But I think what's happened here is that maybe there's just a lot of things that you're busy with. And the universe is trying to just kind of get you to bring that all in and focus here. Let's focus here. The universe wants you to focus on what really matters to you. What really matters to you. And that's in reverse. This is an individual that is taking part in this falconry. It takes a lot of time on their part to train this falcon. But it's what really matters to them. And it's in reverse here. And this speaks about self-awareness. It speaks about being present to you. And it's in reverse here. And there's a real call here for you to kind of pull your energy in, focus in on you, become more self-aware. Because the Four of Cups is the last card here. And it's almost like there's this individual that has these Three Cups and has decided, you know what? I've done a lot of healing. I'm tired of my healing. I have all these big emotions. I'm so fed up with emotions. I'm fed up with crying. I'm fed up with grieving. I'm fed up with this. I'm fed up with that. And the universe says, well, here's another cup. It's like an Ace of Cups here. Here's another offer for you because it wants you to go deeper. Here's another offer, you go deeper. And the universe is saying, pull your energy in, you know, as it wants you to get rid of most of your distractions that are out there, the ones that you know you can get rid of, and really look at, you know, what matters to you. And we're going to go deeper here. We're going to start to feel some of these bigger emotions. You know, sometimes we can feel emotions like shame, and then we can feel it again, and then we can feel it again, and you're wondering, I already felt that before. I once had a friend of mine say to me, one that was not on the healing journey, and I told her, I've been working through some loneliness, and she goes, haven't you already worked on that before? Haven't you already gone through that already? And I just kind of went, because you'll spiral through emotions. You know, you'll deal with it, and then you'll deal with it on a deeper level, and then you go again, and you might deal with it again. And that's how, this is kind of what this is saying right here. And then advice from the tarot. So how can you begin to heal this? Where do you start? Well, the universe is bringing you the Queen of Wands, and here's the Queen again, a different Queen. Did we have a Queen? I thought we had a Queen. No, we just had the King. So here's the Queen. Here's the feminine side. And we all have the feminine and we all have the masculine. I'm not sure if I've said that already. But there's two parts to us. And so the feminine side, and in particular of the Wands, she's the Queen of creativity. You know, this is coming up here in creativity, doing what you want to do, living the lifestyle you want to live. That's creative. And so the Queen is sitting right here. And the universe, in order to get in touch with that creativity, the universe wants you to get back into your body so you can start to feel some of this unworthiness that's blocking you from, you know, taking your wand and going into that direction you're meant to go in. And that's what the Queen of Wands is all about, you know. She could be feeling some hopelessness here, and she could also be feeling a little bit of anger, maybe at the people that told her she couldn't do this, you know. And then you get the Four of Swords and right behind it. And so you're being asked here to get into your body and start to really feel these emotions. And the Four of Swords is coming up here. And this is a card truly in an upright position. It's a card of taking some rest and really getting in touch with, what are these swords? Swords are our mental energy, our thought. What are these thoughts that you're telling yourself? And I think when, this is in reverse here, but it's a time that you take by yourself, not with other people, but really, truly by yourself, to start to listen to what are those things that you're telling yourself that you need to start focusing on. Like, what is it? What did people tell you when you were younger over here, right? Because your truth is sitting in your shadow. But right now you're believing other things that people told you. And you've also got this part of you, this Knight of Swords as a final card in your reading. And the knights in my deck represent what I call freedom fighters. And everybody has this part. It's like that part of you, that adolescent part of you that just wanted nothing more than to be their authentic self, than to be free and do what it is they wanted to do, and take their sword and go into the direction of authenticity and who I am, and prove to the world who I am. And so this is really, I'm hearing creativity, authenticity in this entire reading right here. And very much a feminine reading for you, of discovering, that other side of you, that feminine side of you. But there are some emotions here that you need to work on, that you need to, some shame. And, so I think I want to, I'm going to leave you a playlist on shame so you can get in touch with that. And then I'll leave you with your November 2024 reading. All right, so let's end with one Moonology card here for you. Interesting. Full moon in Taurus. Full moon in Taurus, which is exactly what we have here, except it's a full super moon. So, 70. And you are the first sign that pulled the full moon in Taurus. Your dreams need a practical plan. And I thought this was kind of interesting because you did start off at the beginning with the Four of Wands, which is that card of finally, having this dream, and you finally taking that step and going out to do it. You need a practical plan. Sometimes you need to weave a bit of magic, and sometimes you need to be practical. And sometimes you need to find a combination of the two. This card suggests that this is where you are now. You need to use the laws of attraction to draw in what you want by imagining it, expecting it, welcoming it. But you need to balance that with taking down-to-earth steps toward your goals. This isn't about wishing on the moon and hoping for the best. It's about making something like a list of bullet points about how to achieve your dreams. If you're asking about money, this card heralds a change of financial fortunes depending on both your past actions and what you're expecting and therefore attracting. Changing my mind on the playlist I want to give you. I was going to give you one on shame, but I think because of what the tarot advised for you, which was the Queen of Wands here, and taking some time out, and I think I want to give you a playlist on grounding. Very important to get back into your body and start to feel some of this shame. I do have a playlist on shame, and you can look that up on Carol Cares if you like. But Aquarius, I want you to have compassion for yourself or what you're working through. This is an incredibly difficult journey, very lonely at times, but it's the most important journey of your life. So take care, and I'll see you in December. Bye.